Hi everyone, this is just a very short video on a modification that I've done to one of the bench power supplies in the workshop here. I've got a couple of CSI bench power supplies that I use all the time in the workshop, and they have a little quirk with them, or a lack of functionality, to be fair, on them that I find a little bit frustrating. So I thought I'd delve inside them and see if I could make the power supplies work in the way I think they should. Okay, this is one of the power supplies. It's a CSI3003X Model 3 at 0 to 30 volts, 0 to 5 amps per side, and it has constant voltage mode, adjustable on the front here, and it has a constant current mode, which is adjustable via the up-down button on the front here. However, one thing you can't do with this power supply is preset the current limit. You can only adjust the current limit when it's in a constant current situation, when it's actually under load. So like I said, what you can't do is you can't just switch on the power supply, preset it to 1 amp, and then off we go. You can't do that. So what I've managed to do is I've downloaded the schematic for the power supply from the manufacturer's website, and I've had a wee look at it, and I've managed to modify the circuit very slightly to give me the functionality that I need. So let's take a look at the schematic. Okay, I've just got the video camera pointed to the monitor on the workbench here, so I hope you can see it okay. So basically what you've got here's the keyboard, up-down controls, the CC/CV control, and the little LED for the constant current mode. So that's interfaced to a bit of circuitry here, and basically it's the push button for the up-down control is via a little bit of logic there, is feeding the up-down control of this digital potentiometer here. The wiper output from the IC is basically feeding via a couple of op amps. It's basically a way off to the display, so that when you're in constant current mode you're getting that display, i.e. what you've got the wiper set to. So I've drawn up a little wee schematic on my notepad here, and I'll show you what modification I've made. Okay, so what we've got here is well, I'll start by saying that some of the circuitry on here is not quite relevant, but just to show you how it's pieced together, here we go. So we've basically got a signal here from the main current shunt inside the power supply coming along here and into the ammeter display. That signal there is in the range of 0 to 0.3 volts, and that's basically coming up onto this control board and happens to go into one side of this op amp here. Then you've got the digital potentiometer, like I said. You've got up-down control coming into it. You've got basically the potentiometer there, and then the wiper coming out into the other side of this op amp. And the signal from that is 0 to, again, plus 0.3 volts. So it's the same signal range as we've got there. So I've managed to modify this circuit in order that I can drive the wiper from here direct to the ammeter on the display in certain condition, so that I can have direct display at any time over basically what's been set on the up-down button here on the digital potentiometer. So it doesn't matter what the rest of the power supply is doing, doesn't matter whether it's in constant voltage mode, constant current mode, or what. If I can put a direct connection from here into the display, and you know, luckily the voltage range is identical, I'll be able to get basically the readout on the display. So let me show you what I've done to achieve this. Okay, and as if by magic, here's the updated schematic. So basically I've inserted a small toggle switch there, breaking the connection to the ammeter, and so that I can basically link through up onto the output from the digital potentiometer there. I've had to insert an op amp there to buffer the signal there, because there's actually a little small load that you're getting from the circuitry concerned with the actual display, which without having the op amp, it was actually loading up this signal here very slightly, and I was getting an under readout on the display when I was trying to read what the digital potentiometer was set to. So threw in an op amp there, voltage follower, buffered the signal, and with the toggle switch there I'm able to push the button and read directly off of the digital potentiometer. This is a push button changeover switch that I've got there, so that basically I can walk up to the power supply, press the button and hold it, and whilst I'm holding it in I'm able to read the current set. So let's take a look at the power supply. I'll show you the switch on the front and also the modification to the circuit board inside where I've made this mod. Okay, here's the modified power supply. In actual fact, I've not modified the dual channel one that I've got up on the up on the shelf up there at the moment. I've actually got the single channel one. It's a 0 to 30 volt again, but 0 to 3 amp, this particular one. So I've gone ahead and modified this one. Okay, so let's power up the power supply. Okay, I've got set to 5 volts at the moment, and as you can see, 0 amps, I've got nothing connected in the output. So in this state, without pressing this extra button that I've put on here, the power supply is exactly as it was before. You can go into constant current mode, you can do what you like on the push buttons there, and you'll get absolutely nothing. I've got no load connected like I said, so go into constant current mode, there we go, and I'll press this push button here, and there we go. I can basically preset the current there. So I'll set it to 1 amp, release the button, and now I'll short out the output in the power supply. And there's my 1 amp that I'm getting. I'm still in constant current mode, as you can see. Of course, I can come out of constant current mode, and I've basically got 3 amps. The power supply is running at its max output there, 3 amps. Back into constant current mode, and you can see the 1 amp. Of course, I can still press the button at this time here, of course, but I'm still getting the same 1 amp that I'd preset. So I'll just take the short away. Do that again, press the button, and there's my set. And the way I've got it set up in the circuit, if you're in constant voltage mode, there it is there, you can't actually change the current. The digital potentiometer circuit's been disabled so that the up-down buttons do nothing when you're actually in constant voltage mode. So that's probably a good little bit of additional functionality that I've managed to get on the push button there. So that's basically it. A quick and dirty mod there. So let's take a look inside the power supply and I'll show you the modification. Okay, here's the control board inside the power supply. Luckily for me, if I just zoom out there, very, very easy to access, and being a surface mount board, the surface mount components are facing out the way, which is just absolutely ideal. I didn't have to disassemble the power supply much at all, just take the cover off it and that was it. So looking at it here, you can sort of see the modification I've made. This is the digital potentiometer IC, pin 5 is the output there, so basically that's going away up onto the voltage follower here, and there's your pin 1 and pin 2 on the op amp that I've just sort of piggybacked on the back of one of the existing op amps on the board. It's just an easy way to pick up the supply. You just basically take a couple of resistor legs and drop them down onto the supply pins of the op amp underneath, and basically there's the pin 1 output from the new op amp going away up here over to the switch. And if I look here, this blue wire here going on to this display board there, that's the signal going into the ammeter on the display. So I've basically broken that wire there and taken it down onto the switch, and basically on the other side of the switch I've got my a new wire here as well. So if you can just look down in here, I think you can see the back of, there's the red and black switch down there, that's the back of the switch there. Luckily that push button switch is a changeover, so it was very easy just to drill a hole and slap it in there, so it's very easy to put in. So basically that's it there. I'll probably do the same with the other power supply that I've got up on the workbench here, because you know, it's just a really handy modification so that you can preset the current limit on the power supply without having it under load. And I just think it's something that possibly CSI circuit specialists, when they were working on designing these power supplies, I really think they should have added in, but God knows why they've got it this way. I just much prefer you being able to preset a current so you know where you are basically when you're offload. But there you go. So like I said, it's a very quick video. Hope you like it. See you next time.